Today's topic is hip joint. It will be discussed under following headings: the type of joint, the articular surfaces, ligaments, relations, movement and muscle producing movements, blood supply, nerve supply, and the applied anatomy. Hip joint is a multi-axial ball and socket variety of synovial joint. Head of femur is forming the ball, and the acetabulum of hip bone is forming the socket. The head of femur articulates with the acetabulum of hip bone to form the hip joint, which is highly stable joint with limited mobility. The ball is represented by head of femur, which resembles two-thirds of a sphere. The articular surface of the head is covered by the hyaline cartilage, which is thicker in the central portion and thin at the periphery. The non-articular part of the head is known as fovea capitis or the pit, which is giving attachment to the ligament of head of femur. Also, the socket is formed by a cup-shaped depression known as acetabulum of the hip bone. It is surrounded by a margin which is giving attachment to the fibrocartilaginous rim, the labrum, thus deepening the socket. Also, where the margin is absent, it is resulting in formation of a notch. This acetabular notch gives attachment to the transverse acetabular ligament and also to the ligament of head of femur. The acetabulum here represents a horseshoe-shaped articular surface, the lunate surface. The floor is a non-articular part forming the acetabular fossa, which is filled with a cushion of fibrofatty tissue. The acetabular fat is covered with synovial membrane, so it is intracapsular but extrasynovial. Though the articular surfaces of the hip joint are reciprocally curved, they are not coextensive. Hence, the stability or strength depends upon various factors like the depth of acetabulum, the tension and strength of ligaments, the strength of surrounding muscles. So, the main contributory factor for the stability and strength would be ligament of hip joint, which are the capsule, the synovial membrane, acetabular labrum, transverse acetabular ligament, ligament of head of femur, iliofemoral ligament, pubofemoral ligament, and ischiofemoral ligament. The fibrous capsule is attached on the hip bone to the acetabular labrum in transverse acetabular ligament and to the bone above and behind the acetabulum. On the distal aspect, on the femur, it is gaining attachment to the intertrochanteric line in front and 1 centimeter medial to the intertrochanteric crest on the posterior aspect. Anterosuperiorly, the capsule is thick and firmly attached to the root of greater trochanter. Posterior-inferiorly, it is thin and it is attaching in front of the lesser trochanter. The capsule is made up of two types of fibers. The outer fibers are longitudinal, also known as reticular fibers. They are reflected upwards and medially along the neck, and they travel beneath the synovial membrane. The retinacular fibers convey blood vessels to the neck and head of femur. So, in cases of intracapsular fracture of neck, the blood supply may be interrupted, resulting in avascular necrosis of the head of femur, culminating into non-union of fracture. The D fibers of fibrous capsule are circularly arranged and form the zona orbicularis, which produce an hourglass-like constriction around the neck. The synovial membrane lines the inner surface of fibrous capsule, both the surfaces of acetabular labrum and the intracapsular part of the neck of femur. The synovial membrane ceases at the periphery of the articular cartilage. It invests the ligament of head of femur as a flattened cone, and it is gaining attachment at the peripheral margin of the fovea. Acetabular labrum is a fibrocartilaginous rim which is gaining attachment to the acetabular margin, resulting in the deepening of the socket. Thus, it grabs the femoral head tightly. Also, when the fibrous capsule is disconnected, Labrum is helping in retaining the head of femur in position. The next ligament is the transverse ligament of acetabulum. It is a part of acetabular labrum which extend across the acetabular notch. Here it blends with the base of ligament of head of femur and with the lower part of fibrous capsule, thereby converting acetabular notch into a foramen which transmits acetabular vessels and nerve to the joint. It is representing a part of labrum which is without the cartilage cells. The next ligament is ligament of head of femur, also known as round ligament or ligamentum teres femoris. It is a triangular ligament, the apex of which is attached to the fovea capitis, and the base is attached to the ends of acetabular notch, merging with the transverse ligament and the margin of acetabular notch. The main function of the ligament of head of femur is to transmit arteries to the head of femur from the acetabular branch of the obturator and the medial circumflex femoral arteries. It is stretched in the adduction of the semifemoral. The next important is the iliofemoral ligament or the ligament of Wegelow. It is placed anteriorly. It is one of the strongest ligament of the body which prevents the trunk from falling backwards in the standing posture. It is a triangular or an inverted Y-shaped ligament. The apex or stem is gaining attachment to the lower part of anterior inferior iliac spine, and the base is gaining attachment to the intertrochanteric line. The base diverges as a medial vertical band and the lateral oblique band. The medial vertical band is gaining attachment to the lower part of the intertrochanteric line, whereas the lateral oblique band is gaining attachment to the tubercle in the upper part of the intertrochanteric line. The pubofemoral ligament is supporting the joint inframedially. It is a triangular shaped ligament. Superiorly, it is attached to the iliopubic eminence, the obturator crest, the obturator membrane. Inferiorly, it is merging with the anteroinferior part of the capsule and with the lower band of the iliofemoral ligament. The ischiofemoral ligament is covering the hip joint posteriorly. It is attached to the ischium close to the acetabular margin. Its fibers are passing spirally upwards and laterally behind the neck of femur and becoming continuous with the zona orbicularis, which are the inner circular fibers of the capsule. Now we'll be dealing with relations of the hip joint. Superiorly, hip joint is related to the reflected head of rectus femoris, covered by gluteus minimus, gluteus medius, and partly by gluteus maximus. In the interior relation of the hip joint, we have muscles, the pectineus, the rectus femoris, and the iliopsoas. Also, the tendon of iliopsoas is separated from the joint by a bursa, that is the psoas bursa. We also have femoral artery, vein, and femoral nerve lying in the anterior relation of the hip joint. In the posterior aspect, the hip joint is related from below upwards to the following muscle, that is the tendon of obturator externus covered by quadratus femoris, obturator internus with two gemini, the piriformis, sciatic nerve, and the gluteus maximus muscle. In the inferior aspect, the joint is related to the lateral fibers of pectineus and the obturator externus. In addition, there are gracilis, adductor longus, adductor brevis, adductor magnus, and hamstring group of muscle. The hip joint is supplied by femoral nerve through the nerve to rectus femoris. The anterior division of obturator nerve, the nerve to quadratus femoris, also gives a branch to the hip joint. Also, it receives a twig from the sciatic nerve. The superior gluteal nerve may give a branch to the hip joint. The arterial supply of hip joint is through medial and lateral circumflex femoral artery, the obturator artery, superior and inferior gluteal arteries. The medial and the lateral circumflex femoral arteries are arising from the profunda femoris branch of the femoral artery. These arteries form an arterial circle around the capsular attachment on the neck of femur. The retinacular arteries arising from this circle supplies the intracapsular part of the neck and greater part of the head of femur. So, the larger lateral part of the head is supplied by the lateral epiphyseal arteries, which are derived from the retinacular branches of the median circumflex femoral artery. This set constitutes the main supply to the head, and the damage to it results in the necrosis of head following the intracapsular fractures of the neck of femur. The small medial part of the head near the fovea is supplied by the medial epiphyseal arteries, which is derived from the posterior division of obturator artery and also from the ascending branch of medial circumflex femoral arteries. These arterial twigs enter the acetabular notch and then pass along the round ligament to reach the head. Now we discuss the movement of hip joints. The axis of movements would be transverse axis along which the flexion and extension takes place. Abduction and adduction takes place around the anteroposterior axis. The medial and lateral rotation takes place around the vertical axis. These are the movements which are taking place at the hip joint. In general, all the axes pass through the center of head of femur, but none of them is fixed because the head is not coipherical. The flexion is caused by iliopsoas and the rectus femoris, supported by pectineus, sartorius, and adductor longus. Extension is caused by gluteus maximus, supported by hamstring gopher muscle. Adduction is caused by adductor longus, adductor brevis, and adductor magnus, supported by gracilis and pectineus. Abduction is caused by gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, supported by sartorius and tensor fasciae lata. Medial rotation is caused by anterior fibers of gluteus medius and minimus, along with tensor fasciae lata. Lateral rotation is done by two obturators, two gemini, and the quadratus femoris, supported by piriformis, gluteus maximus, and sartorius. Circumduction is a combination of all movements which is taking place at this joint. Flexion is limited by contact of the thigh with the anterior abdominal wall. Similarly, adduction is limited by contact with the opposite limb. So these were the details in which the hip joint was discussed with you. Now we come to the applied anatomy of the hip joint. Most common is the congenital dislocation of hip joint, which is usually posterior due to the defective development of the upper part of rim of acetabulum. The femoral head is displaced to the gluteal surface of failure. Also, the normal neck shaft angle is 125 degrees in adults. There is a condition known as coxa valga in which the angle between shaft and neck of femur is increased so that abduction is more free. In coxa vara, the angle between shaft and neck of femur is decreased, therefore the abduction is limited. Another clinical aspect of the hip joint is the fracture neck of femur, which could be of subcapital variety, cervical variety, or the basal type of variety. Subcapital fracture, which is near the head of femur, is intracapsular fracture occurring in the elderly people of over 60 years. It is a common cause for avascular necrosis of the head. Damage to the retinacular arteries results in avascular necrosis, resulting in non-fusion of the fracture of neck of femur. Such damage is maximal in the subcapital fracture and least in the basal fracture. Also, radiographically, a curved line where the upper border of obturator foramen is continuous with the lower margin of neck of femur is known as Shenton's line. During the fracture of neck of femur, these lines become abnormal or there is a break in the continuity of this Shenton's line. Next clinical aspect is the osteoarthritis. It is a disease of old age in which the osteophytes are seen at the articular ends, causing painful and limited movements. The joint space is decreased in this. In diseases of hip joint, pain may be referred to the knee joint. This is because of the common nerve supply of two joints, that is the obturator and femoral nerve, resulting in the pain. Next disease is the Perthes disease, or also known as pseudocoxalgia. Destruction and flattening of head of femur with an increased joint space is seen in X-ray. The femoral head undergoes an avascular necrosis in children, usually due to the trauma. Trendelenburg sign is positive in the paralysis of gluteus medius and minimus, congenital dislocation of hip joint, and fracture of neck of femur. In this positive dislocation of hip joint and fracture of neck of femur. In this positive sign, the pelvis is tilted downwards. The pelvis is not supported by the glutei of the opposite side. This is positive Trendelenburg test.